Picture this. Two friends, Sarah and Marcus, both just turned 30. They work at the same company, they have the same job title, and they make the exact same salary of $75,000 a year. But by the time they're 50, Sarah will have built real wealth while Marcus will still be living paycheck to paycheck, wondering where all his money went. The strangest part? Marcus actually feels richer than Sarah almost every single day. My name is Jimmy, and I spend way too much time thinking about money, investing, and the psychology behind how people use it. If you're someone who wants to understand money a little better, consider subscribing and giving this video a thumbs up. Now, what I just described isn't some made-up scenario. It's happening right now to millions of people who fall victim to what I call the income illusion. And here's the thing most people don't realize. The higher your income gets, the more dangerous this illusion becomes. Let me take you inside Sarah and Marcus's story, because their choices reveal something profound about how our brains trick us when it comes to money. When they both started their careers 5 years ago at $45,000, they lived pretty similar lives. Small apartments, used cars, dinner out maybe once a week. But then came the promotions, the salary bumps, the bonuses. And this is where their paths completely diverged. Marcus looks at his bank account today and sees numbers that would have blown his mind 5 years ago. His checking account regularly has $3,000, sometimes $4,000 just sitting there. He drives a car that's only 2 years old, lives in a nice apartment with granite countertops, and can afford to grab lunch wherever he wants without checking prices. To Marcus, this feels like wealth. His brain tells him he's winning at money because he has more cash available today than ever before in his life. But this creates a bigger problem. Marcus's brain is using the wrong measuring stick entirely. He's comparing his current financial situation to his past self, not to where he actually needs to be for his future. It's like celebrating that you can run a 6-minute mile when you're training for a marathon that requires a 5-minute pace. You're faster than before, but you're still going to fail when it matters most. Sarah, on the other hand, feels broke most of the time. Her checking account rarely has more than $1,500 in it. She drives a 7-year-old Honda and still lives in a modest 1-bedroom apartment. When her friends suggest expensive restaurants or weekend trips, she often has to decline. But here's what most people don't see. Sarah has been automatically investing 20% of every paycheck for the past 5 years. She has $43,000 in her retirement accounts and another $12,000 in a separate investment account. She feels poor, but she's actually building real wealth. And this is where most people make a huge mistake. They confuse cash flow with wealth building. Marcus sees money coming in and money going out, and as long as more is coming in, he feels successful. His income has become his identity. But income is just a tool, not the goal. It's like mistaking the hammer for the house you're supposed to be building with it. Here's where things get interesting. The psychological trap that Marcus fell into has a name: lifestyle inflation, but it's actually much more sophisticated than most people realize. When your income increases, your brain doesn't just want more stuff. It wants to feel like the kind of person who deserves that income level. Marcus isn't just buying a nicer car. He's buying the identity of someone who drives nicer cars. He's not just renting a better apartment. He's renting the feeling of being the type of person who can afford granite countertops. This identity shift happens so gradually that most people don't even notice it. One day you're someone who packs lunch, then suddenly you're someone who buys lunch because successful people don't have time to meal prep. One day you're someone who shops sales, then you become someone who values quality over price. Each individual decision seems reasonable, even smart, but collectively, they're destroying your wealth-building potential. Now you might be thinking, what's wrong with enjoying the money you earn? And that's a fair question. The problem isn't enjoying your income. The problem is that most people dramatically underestimate how much money they'll need in the future. They're optimizing for today's happiness while accidentally sabotaging tomorrow's security. But the real issue isn't what you think. It's not about willpower or discipline. It's about something much deeper: time perception. When Marcus looks at his finances, he sees his current cash flow. When Sarah looks at hers, she sees decades. Marcus is playing a monthly game, while Sarah is playing a 30-year game. They're not even competing in the same sport. Let me show you the math that most people never calculate. If Marcus continues his current spending pattern, saving maybe 5% of his income, he'll have around $400,000 by the time he retires. That might sound like a lot, but it's only enough to replace about $24,000 per year of his current income. Remember, he's used to living on $75,000. Meanwhile, Sarah's 20% savings rate will compound into over $1.4 million. She'll be able to maintain her lifestyle and then some. But something strange starts to happen around year 10 of this story. Marcus starts feeling stressed about money despite having the highest income of his life. His car payment, his rent, his lifestyle expenses have all grown to match his income. He's making more money than ever, but he has less financial flexibility than he did 5 years ago. He's trapped in what behavioral economists call the hedonic treadmill, constantly needing more income to maintain the same level of satisfaction. Sarah, meanwhile, starts feeling something different: optionality. That money she's been investing gives her choices. When her company announces layoffs, she's not panicked because she has a financial cushion. When she wants to take a risk and start her own business, she has the resources to do it safely. Her money has bought her something more valuable than granite countertops: freedom. And almost nobody talks about this part, but there's a hidden psychological cost to the income illusion. Marcus has to keep earning at his current level or higher to maintain his lifestyle. His identity and self-worth have become tied to his salary. Sarah has created a lifestyle that could survive on much less income, which means she has psychological flexibility too. She's not just financially free, she's emotionally free from the need to constantly earn more. Here's what most people don't realize about wealth. It's not about how much you make, it's about how much you keep and how long you keep it for. Warren Buffett didn't become wealthy because he had the highest income in America. He became wealthy because he understood the difference between income and wealth earlier than most people figure it out. The income illusion convinces you that earning more money is the same as building wealth. But earning money is like filling a bucket. If the bucket has holes in it, it doesn't matter how fast you pour water in. Marcus has been pouring water faster and faster into a bucket with bigger and bigger holes. Sarah sealed her bucket first, then focused on filling it. Now look, I'm not saying you should never enjoy your money, or that every dollar needs to be invested, but there's a profound difference between intentionally choosing to spend money on things you value and unconsciously inflating your lifestyle because you can afford to. One is a decision, the other is a trap. The key insight here is understanding what economists call consumption smoothing. Instead of dramatically increasing your spending every time your income increases, you smooth out your consumption over your entire lifetime. This means living slightly below your means when you're earning well so you can live comfortably when you're not earning at all. Think about it this way. Marcus treats every salary increase like a permanent raise in his standard of living. Sarah treats salary increases like temporary opportunities to accelerate her wealth building. Marcus is borrowing from his future self to pay for today's lifestyle. Sarah is paying her future self to maintain her current lifestyle. Here's where it gets really interesting. By year 15, something remarkable happens in their story. Sarah's investments have grown enough that the returns alone are generating significant income. She's approaching what financial advisors call crossover point, where your investment returns exceed your living expenses. She's not just building wealth anymore. Her wealth is building itself. Marcus, despite earning the same high salary, is further from financial independence than he was 10 years ago. His lifestyle expenses have grown faster than his income, and he's saved so little that he has almost no investment returns to speak of. He's actually moved backwards in relative terms. But this creates an even bigger problem for Marcus. At some point, everyone's income stops growing. Whether it's retirement, career changes, economic downturns, or health issues, the money stops coming in eventually. Sarah has been preparing for that reality her entire career. Marcus has been assuming it will never happen. The most devastating part of the income illusion is that it tricks you into thinking you have more time than you actually do. Marcus feels like he can always start saving seriously next year, or after the next promotion, or when he gets that bonus. But compound interest doesn't wait for you to feel ready. Every year you delay is exponentially more expensive than the last. Now you might be wondering, how do you avoid falling into this trap? The answer is simpler than you think, but it requires a fundamental shift in how you think about money. Instead of asking, "Can I afford this?" start asking, "What is this costing my future self?" Every dollar you spend today is a dollar that can't compound for your future. That expensive dinner isn't just $40, it's the $40 plus 20 years of investment returns you're giving up. This doesn't mean living like a monk. It means being intentional about the trade-offs you're making between today and tomorrow. Sarah didn't deprive herself of everything. She just made sure she was paying her future self first. She automated her investments so the money was gone before she could spend it. Then she enjoyed what was left without guilt. Here's the thing. The income illusion isn't just about money, it's about time and attention. When you're constantly upgrading your lifestyle to match your income, you're forced to spend more and more time working to maintain that lifestyle. You become trapped in what some people call the golden handcuffs, making too much money to quit, but not enough to stop working. The real wealth is in having enough money that you can choose how to spend your time. Sarah understood this from the beginning. Marcus is still figuring it out. But here's the hopeful part of their story. It's never too late to change course. Marcus could start living like Sarah tomorrow, and while he'd never catch up completely, he could still build meaningful wealth. The most powerful realization in all of this is that building wealth isn't about earning more money. It's about changing your relationship with money entirely. It's about seeing money as a tool for creating options rather than a scorecard for measuring success. It's about understanding that true financial security comes from having enough, not from having more. So the next time you get a raise, a bonus, or any increase in income, remember Sarah and Marcus. Remember that the money hitting your bank account isn't wealth. It's an opportunity to build wealth. The choice of what you do with that opportunity will determine which story your life follows. The income you earn today will be forgotten in 5 years, but the wealth you build today will take care of you for decades.